you ain't first, you're last.
And a name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
The holidays are finally over. The Greenberg hat trick is finally back, episode number 8. And we are only 1,864 days away from the World Cup in Qatar 2022.
Jesus, yeah, that is the realization of the moment. Like
We're shocked.
I can't believe it happened.
Still in shock.
I really can't believe that actually happened.
The USA is not going to Russia. And
And I don't know how many people honestly are taking it like us. That's hope. I don't know. Like, do people in America really care?
There's plenty of people.
I hope
but
there is.
What's that definition of plenty? We can get into that. Again, this is the Greenberg hat trick. Seth is unavailable right now to be on the show. We might phone him in later, probably to talk hockey, but we're just gonna go on with U.S. soccer talk because I've said it to people. My summer of 2018 is ruined.
Same. I'm not even sure if I want to if we were gonna go to
Well, no, we're not. We're not going anywhere now.
Yeah,
that's not happening. I was telling people it'll change probably, but as of right now, I'm not watching the World Cup.
You're not watching the World Cup?
No, I that's how this. When you don't have a dog in the race, and even though really we're not really in that race, especially now to even win it, it just will be painful. That 32 other nations will be there, and we're not one of them, and we should be. But let's dive in. We had a previously started podcasting, but it wasn't recording, so we'll let you in behind the scenes. But we were mentioning how are we to blame for this arrogance that is clearly around this team? And
we as in the fans, or you?
Everyone.
Everyone. Yeah.
Everyone's involved. And it's yes. I mean, as fans, we're more able to get away with it.
But the people in charge definitely.
I mean, I'll say this again. Play that game tomorrow again in Trinidad, and the USA wins. And you might call that arrogance, but this, first of all, this has woken them up. So you know that they're embarrassed and they'll get the win because Trinidad got an own goal from Omar Gonzalez.
Who shouldn't have been playing. I don't get why he
We'll get to player selections.
Jesus.
And then they got a 1 in a million strike, which Darlington Nagbe failed to track and even block. Which, again, in soccer, there's very little blocks, but he had so much space, he might as well give it a go, and it was his greatest shot of his career. He'll never do that again.
And question marks on Tim Howard, but
you
got to give the striker credit.
That angle, that strike, the power, maybe a younger goalie realizes it in time and gets it, but that was just a tremendous strike. But even that, again, we were saying in the previous unrecorded version, we still should have been able to go on.
Yeah. For starters, you got the Panama goal that.
Well, I guess we'll go that now because I'm going to use that as the last of the reasons why.
I heard about it.
It's a disgrace.
I heard about it. Once you see it,
it's a disgrace.
It's
and I won't be surprised if we later find out these refs were paid off.
Do we know where the refs are from? I forgot to check that.
I haven't checked it, but this is how this cycle has gone, and it shouldn't come down to breaks and things going your way and luck, but the U.S. got no breaks in any of this hexagonal qualification.
Yeah.
Look at Honduras' third goal. Off the crossbar, off Ochoa's head, and back in the goal. And that was one of the dominoes that fell. Panama scored 87th minute to take the lead on Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Panama and Honduras beat the top two teams on the last day to advance. Panama and Honduras have a minus goal differential. And they're going to the World Cup. Honduras to the playoff. It's just, in my opinion, not right. But at the end of the day, the U.S. didn't deserve to go because they didn't take care of business first. And you can't rely on other people to get it done for you, even though Mexico should have taken care of business.
Well, where do you stand on this? I know I might be jumping ahead, but for me, I'm definitely not happy they're not in the World Cup. It is gonna not kill the summer for me. I'm still a huge soccer fan, so I'm gonna be.
Summer's dead.
It's not. You got at some point you got to get over that. You got to find a way to root for. I don't know.
You cannot root for another team. This question of who else you can root for in the World Cup. This isn't a club team.
But you know that
you can enjoy the games. I mean, I saw the best quote. Just watch the game if you enjoy the game. Don't pick out a winner. Just watch it because it's soccer. And that might be bad because you could get a few 0-0s, which soccer usually has. But that's the best way. I'm sorry, I'm not. I mean, honestly, I like England in a way, so I might be taking their games more to heart than others. But I'm not rooting for another team.
You don't have to like root for another team, but find something to cheer for. Like whether if it's your root for Marcus Rashford, root for another Man U player that you might like. Find another way to enjoy it.
To be honest, I'm rooting for the best value I can find in that World Cup.
That might be it too. Find the betting way. Find something else. Like I am not going to go the Iceland route because I think everyone's going to freaking do that. And
that story is overhyped. I know. And it's great for them.
Good for them. I'm really happy for them. I love the way like they celebrate and they win, and they deserve to be in the World Cup. But everyone should find their own way. I usually go the Arsenal way now, and I don't know if it'll be France, it'll be Germany.
Okay, but I'm sorry to cut you up, but we're going off track because, like I said before, in the meetings before this, I'm not talking about other countries. I'm talking about the U.S.
That's where I was trying to go to. They didn't make the World Cup, which obviously sucks, but I think this is where it needs to be the turning point in the history or the future for American soccer, and I hope that there are 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds who saw this and they get motivated by this and not scared by it.
Well, those same 16 and 15-year-olds, even 17-year-olds are right now in India in the Under-17 World Cup. So we have that going for us.
Even players that aren't on those levels yet, even they're just like athletic players who are playing football or other sports. Like we need people to play soccer and to get good at it.
That's always been the case.
Right.
And now it's in our hands. Like everyone's trying to find the solution for the youth. That doesn't solve our problems in 4 years' time.
It's not going to be a 4-year process.
Let alone 2 years' time, which I've started to see the light, and we got to get ready for Copa America in 2019 and not get embarrassed in that tournament.
I don't think that is necessarily relevant.
It is relevant because that's the next thing for U.S. soccer.
It is, but in the big picture, it's still a stepping stone.
Well, they need the stepping stone. They need to play the games to get ready for that tournament against teams. I said it in a post to other people. USA soccer ranking in FIFA, even though they're garbage, right now, we're the 100th best team in the world.
I would agree.
You have to go to that low and then start building your way up to where we currently sit, which is definitely not how we truly are. Regardless of what you think of our players and they can put on a performance, because at the end of the day, I mean, this team can play well against the best teams in the world. Maybe not necessarily get the win, but they can play well. And then all of a sudden now against the Costa Ricas and Honduras and Trinidad and Tobago, we just don't get the results.
But then they're not good enough then. Like as much as we put them on whatever pedestals we put them on, they're obviously not as good as we wanted them to be.
It starts with coaching.
100%.
And Bruce Arena was the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And because of that, Sunil Gulati should step down. His time is done because this is a failure on every single person in U.S. soccer. Because Bruce Arena was a Band-Aid, and no one envisioned during that hire on that day that this would happen. But like people have been saying in all the articles and TV interviews that I've seen, it was set in motion then that this could happen. Yeah. And again, to reiterate, this is the most luckiest thing to happen against us for us to be out of this World Cup, but it happened.
We had like a 93% chance of making it.
But like that speaks to our arrogance. And maybe it's because there's too many Gold Cups, which is another flaw. And maybe the Gold Cup should not be always in the States. Because Taylor Twellman also mentioned again, our national team and our players are too comfortable.
For sure, yeah.
They are not threatened. They're not threatened for their places
because they're playing in the MLS, which is not. It's a non-competitive league because there's no relegation. Also,
because they're American in the MLS, their spots are there because they're national team guys.
Yeah.
Let alone Giovinco makes the Toronto guys better, and I can't blame Bradley more than Altidore because Bradley his legs are pretty much done. His legs are older than he actually is, but he needed more help out there. He can't just be the general on this team and just be a one-man team. Nagby is just overrated and should have never been on the field.
No, it's hard to find. Like, I honestly want the whole team to start from scratch. Like, I want Pulisic to stay.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
but just again, and it goes back to coaching. And coaching's the main reason why Jeff Cameron is not starting in the game against Trinidad.
It doesn't make any sense.
Why Fabian Johnson is not even called to this team. It's gonna be sloppy, and we'll try and get to the next topic soon because that's how much this means to both of us that we're not going to the World Cup.
Yeah, I can only imagine how much pain and suffering Omar Gonzalez is going through, but I can't. It's just
no. You like I feel for these players.
I do feel for him, but it's just
because
he's not good enough. He shouldn't have been put in that position.
I
He
don't
was
know if
shaky
it's-
before the game. He was shaky during, and even after the game. Like I was watching the game because I was at work, so I wasn't able to see everything. But I saw the goals and I saw the way the final 20 minutes were playing through. Every time Trinidad would like send the ball down, he would panic. Gonzalez. He didn't.
Well, his confidence is
He
shot.
couldn't find a player to pass to.
When
He had all the space in the world and would just like head it straight back up in the air to no one.
At that point, unless you get him out, which they weren't going to do because Bruce loves him, it happens. Like you score. First of all, the odds of that happening, that own goal, he would do that 10 other times and it wouldn't happen the way it did. And it goes down to the luck that was against the U.S. at the end of the day with this one. And but again, we hit a post, we hit a save off the line, so like
Still weren't good enough though.
and it's still definitely not good enough. But like it shows how close. Like again, we're mumbling, and but that's how passionate we are about this because we're at a loss. And it doesn't make sense, and it hurts real bad. And just to get the anger out of me, to any person from any country that isn't going to the World Cup, and you're going to make fun of us, fuck you. That's what I'll say to you. Because I saw a post on some stupid blog called Baba Goal, which does some Israeli posting as well. And they said, like, here's Aaron Johansson. He used to play for Iceland. Now he plays for America. Don't be Aaron Johansson. And first of all, he was in the World Cup in 2014. And second of all, fuck you again. Because you're irrelevant. For you to come back and shit on us in our lowest point when your country, which I'm assuming is going to be Israel or maybe even Palestine because you're both ways, isn't even close to making the World Cup, shut your mouth. Because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of Americans being the joke in world soccer. And this obviously hurts it. And to be honest, I'm hurt by it because as an American, I feel like my opinion now doesn't matter because of what my national team has done. And that'll take time to overcome. But this is seriously the darkest day in U.S. soccer history. And again, also another point to the pundits, I don't care about the women's team. And I mean that when they play, 100% supporting of them. And even though them need more support, we're talking about the men's.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear about, the women's team has success and the women's team are true about U.S. soccer. I don't care.
Good for them. Like, yeah.
It's great for them. And to be honest, like Taylor Twellman was hinting on SportsCenter, they're getting caught too. So don't be surprised that they have some struggles.
That's true,
But this is about the men's.
Yeah, right now.
This is about where the most eyes are on, and that's U.S. men's soccer. And we need to fix that. And in my opinion, no one over the age of 30 is to be welcomed back to the team. You might get one last friendly for those guys, but they are done. Done. Dempsey is done. He's not going for that record. Maybe he'll get it in the friendly. The goalies, gone.
Yeah.
Howard, 38. Ramondo, 38. Guzan, 33.
Time to start over.
Gone.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're not necessarily all to blame for this, but we relied too much on these players. And again, another point, giving the credit to Taylor Twellman, because he said it first, obviously he has the channels. Missing the Olympics these past 2 times has hurt this team tremendously. Because in those tournaments, not necessarily we're going to win the Olympic tournament, but it gives the guys the experience. It gives them the readiness to be selected to the team because Bruce wasn't ready to pick on these young up-and-comers. Like Matt Miazga, he could have been at center back.
Maybe.
He's playing day in and day out in the Netherlands, which is much better than the MLS. Again, Jeff Cameron was there. I don't know why he wasn't picked. You can say he wasn't fit, but the second game he definitely was fit. It's just, again, if you're over 30, you're gone. Altidore, Nagby can stay, but they're my subs. They're not in the starting lineup. And you build this team around Pulisic.
It's definitely around Pulisic.
And your next coach is not American. I will say that.
Yeah,
I said
agree
this
with
for
that.
Israeli, and now it's come back to American soccer.
Klinsmann
Our
was not the
coaches
problem.
are not good enough. No, Klinsmann stayed 1 year too much.
Maybe,
the
but
players tuned him out, and that's what you can see in that Costa Rica 4-0 game.
But he definitely he changed the world of soccer in
He
America.
changed
He definitely
our soccer
yeah.
for the better, and he deserves the credit. And no one's giving to him right now because he was fired. Sorry, but he stayed 1 year too long. I think that's a fact. But what Klinsmann did was tremendous. Again, we tied Portugal in the World Cup. We took Belgium to extra time.
I was thinking about those games right now. Like
we beat Ecuador.
We never replaced those players that were big game players for us. We never replaced our Jermaine Jones. We never replaced
and to be
our
honest,
John
Jermaine
Brooks.
Jones could have played. Well, John Brooks is still part of the team. He's
I
only
know, but he's
24.
injured. I know that was the problem. We
had
don't
no
have any
depth.
backup. We had no backup. We had no depth. Yeah, like
and It needs to be. You know what? I want it to be a Mexican coach. I wanted someone from south of the border
Maybe.
that knows those systems and know that way of playing soccer, that they can tell these refs in Spanish not to fuck with us, because that's what happens too. I'm sorry. Yeah, the players play. Yes, the players get the results, but you'd be surprised how many calls go against us. And because, again, it goes back to our arrogance. Shaka Hislop. Again, I'm using all these pundits that I've seen over the past few days. I've hated him before the Trinidad game because I didn't think he was on target. But then he became more clear after the Trinidad win. And he's from Trinidad. He's the next goalie of Trinidad, one of the Trinidad's best players.
So what did he say that actually, like...
The arrogance.
Yeah, okay.
How our Twitter account is making fun of the pitch.
Yeah.
And I'll say pitch. I'll say field. I don't care. We're going with this.
That's what I was annoyed too.
We cannot make fun of these teams.
The word they used was heartbreak at the end of the game.
Well, first of all,
I don't think that's the right word at all.
The Twitter account's all wrong because...
But it's not just Twitter. That was their social media, everything. It was everything saying was like heartbreak.
To be honest,
that is not heartbreak.
To be honest, they're not going to rip the team. Like, you can't go from there. But speaking back to my point, you need to respect these countries because Trinidad had nothing to play for. But I guarantee you in that coach's pregame, he said, look what they're talking about us. Look what they think about our field, our conditions, our way of soccer.
And you see what it meant to them when they won.
Well, it being the USA means everything.
I know. Like, we had to, like, that sort of goes back to the arrogance. Like, we're not Germany. We haven't won the World Cup ever. We haven't done anything
Kings
really...
of CONCACAF, and right now we're not even third in CONCACAF.
Yeah.
Kings of CONCACAF means shit.
It means absolutely nothing.
And I've defended MLS in our region for so long, but not anymore. It doesn't matter if we're first or second in our region. You need to play every game like the game isn't decided, and we did that these last 4 games.
I wish I had the memory or a recording of when I first said this, but I don't know if you believe me, if you remember this, but I said 5-6 years ago, we're not going to make the World Cup at some point. I didn't like where the team was going.
You'd mentioned that after the World Cup.
After last year's World Cup?
Last year's World Cup.
The last time?
Yeah, because it goes back to our defense.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see any replacements in the future.
But I didn't envision it this bad. And I also didn't envision a team with no Cameron and no Johnson.
I didn't think it would actually happen. I thought it was possible. There's no way. Like as I was watching the game, and it was like 89th minute, 90th minute. I'm like, this is actually. It started to sink in. And
I was looking at. Well,
I feel these feelings right now come back.
I'll let you guys into how I experienced the Trinidad game. I wasn't even going to wake up for it.
Yeah,
that's maybe my fault. But again, the players play, I watch. That's how much I thought there was going to be not a problem. I set my flash score to alert me for the USA game that maybe once the USA would score first. Didn't happen. But when they would score first, I'd wake up and join the game. My alarm went off as usual. I looked at my phone, and I saw 2-0 Trinidad. And I was like, cool. Looked back at my phone and could not believe what was happening.
Yeah, it's...
I did a double take then. Granted, also then Pulisic's goal came on my phone as well because I was a little late to the start of the second half. Like, okay, we're back. But from the 80th minute on, my flash score was on.
And that's
because I was watching the Costa Rica game.
That's like, forget the other scores. We couldn't get the tie. We couldn't come back. We couldn't find whatever needs to be done to get another goal. We had 40 minutes.
They had lots of time to get it back, but it's also you go down 2-0. You deserve to
obviously.
Lose. It's not that easy to come back from that. I mean, granted, it's an inferior opponent.
But they got the one, and they had all the momentum and all possession. They just couldn't get the other goal because they had, again, no depth.
We were vulnerable in the counter.
Yeah, we were
a better team puts that game away.
That's what's going to happen. But like the players that were supposed to come in and change the game, we subbed in Dempsey, and
Dempsey was really good. Acosta needs improvement, but he's there, but he needs more improvement.
Was Areola the last sub?
Maybe.
The point is, like, these aren't. No one knows who these people are. Good for them. They're playing the MLS. Acosta helped us in the other game with a free kick, but like. Again, it goes back to like we need more players in Europe playing at the highest level, ready to.
They're there. They're young. They weren't called upon.
They are young, I guess. I hope there are players that I have not heard of. I know there's like
just what you should do now is follow this U17 team. I mean, again, that team is for the 2026 World Cup. Those guys are not helping us for the next cycle.
Like
the next cycle could be Klinsmann. He's 20-year-old goalie.
Is he going to be our goalie?
But Ethan Horvath at Club Brugge.
Horvath and Heinemann. That's the other guy I was thinking of.
Heinemann needs more playing time. He hasn't really been.
He needs it, but like
Miazga, Cameron Carter-Vickers.
The other thing,
Vickers. Sorry, he plays for Tottenham now at Sheffield United.
One name we haven't mentioned in a long time that I just saw. I think he's coming back from his injury. Is Zelalem. I have no idea where he is right now in his.
He's not even on the radar.
I know he's on the radar, but like maybe like he's
not even playing games.
I know that, but he's coming back, so maybe he's only 17, I think, still. So like this is his time to.
I think he's more than 17.
Really?
You can check that. A few more points before we stop talking at least international soccer. Gab Marcotti put it very well. I'm going to quote him.
He's 20?
Yeah, he knew he was older than 15. Understand that if talent wasn't the issue in the Hex, it has to be something else. If your rivals with players who are inferior or equal to you surpass you, it's probably down to one or more of the following: mentality, coaching, or cohesion. And that's pretty much what we said. That's the three things, and he hit it.
Yeah.
Put differently, the U.S. didn't get knocked by better players. They got knocked out by players who played better.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
100% agree.
And that's what it comes down to. Our team is still good, but they got outplayed. And that should never happen from a USA soccer team. That's what we're known for. We're known for being the underdogs and playing to the last minute.
But I think that's got to change.
It's going to change. This is the wake-up call. You're not in the World Cup. They're going to be sitting home watching this. Because, again, we missed out by 1 point. It's not like we were desperate and we were so bad that we needed to win and we were out. We lost by 1 point.
Yeah.
We lost, again, this is me wanting the team in so bad. I hope that Panama-Costa Rica game gets replayed. I hope somehow, somewhere, they find out that those refs were paid because, by God, that is the most disgrace in soccer. That's one of the.
It wasn't even close.
That's one of the reasons why I don't want to watch the World Cup because, to use a poor word, but it's right. It's unjust that Panama won that game.
Yeah, but then you can bring it to other teams like Ireland with France.
No. This is different.
How's it different?
The ball did not cross the line,
right,
and they
from that
gave a
standpoint,
goal. There's
that's
nowhere near anything that can compare to this. The ball did not cross the line, and they gave it a goal.
Yeah. It's definitely like, it's not the same thing to compare it to, but it's similar.
Because
but,
you can say
yeah.
we don't deserve it. Yeah, we might have not deserved it in October 2017, but become April, May 2018, they'll play better and they'll be ready for World Cup. Because what we do is play better against the better teams, and that's a fact. You could not like that because we've lost to Trinidad, but at the end of the day, again, tied Portugal, tied Belgium, beat Ecuador.
Our friendlies, we beat Germany and Germany. We beat Netherlands and Netherlands.
No. Don't bring up Germany. Don't bring up Germany because anything with Germany, and that was definitely in the past, is Germany beat us 3-0 in the World Cup in 2014. They spanked us. We're not on Germany's level. That's not a team. But Portugal definitely had something to look back on. Ecuador is something to look back on. Colombia, we played them tough. I don't know. Something was lost where we can play the big teams tough, but the lower teams in CONCACAF, we just don't get up for. And that just doesn't make sense, and that needs to change, and it will change.
I think Bradley's alone in the midfield.
Bradley's done.
I know. That's why I'm not
He's
sure.
out.
He's out. That way too.
Beasler's out. Gonzalez is definitely out. The goalies are out. Dempsey's
Yedlin
out.
seemed okay.
Yedlin's fine.
He's not a superstar, but he seems like he can do a job.
No, but he's in the Premier League. Again, his form come April, May would have been amazing.
Yeah.
He's also coming back from injury. He played fine. He wasn't the reason why they lost.
I'm not saying, no, I wasn't saying at all. I was just going through another player that we haven't mentioned.
Again, I mean, we're going to pretty much wrap this up because we're just mumbling at this point. It's time to get ready for Copa America.
I don't think so.
No. That's what it is. That's the next tournament. They need to be ready for it. They need to, it's okay to lose games putting it out on the line. They didn't put it out all on the line against Trinidad. That's a fact. And we need better performances. It's okay to lose, but you don't lose like you do against Trinidad and Tobago.
Has Arena been fired or stepped down yet?
Nothing has happened
Nothing's happened yet?
They are idiotic, and I don't even want to get into the management because
that goes down now. That is the best example of arrogance that they haven't even done anything about it yet.
There's a press conference today with Gulati.
Right,
we'll see how that goes. One last point. What was the more different? Wow. What was the difference, do you think, in this qualification? 9 out of 15 points at home or 3 out of 15 points on the road? Because
I think the road one. I think it's the road one.
Interesting, because I think you need a minimum of 11 points at home.
The home
because US I've gone back and forth with this. US does okay on the road, a little bit below average on the road, but we don't lose games to Costa Rica at home. We don't let up late goals to Mexico at home. Again, any of the 4 results that didn't go our way, we just need 1 point and we're there. And I think the Costa Rica loss is a bigger loss than the Trinidad loss because it was at home. And that was just a bad performance. The effort was kind of there, but that was just bad. That just came down to just not focusing. The Trinidad was luck. The Trinidad was Omar Gonzalez's own goal and a 35-yard wonder strike. To wrap it up, like I said, I'm going back to getting ready now for Copa America. I'll even go one further and even more important. Qualifying for the Olympics in 2020 is a must. Because luckily Pulisic is under 23, so he's not one of those players
That's true.
that you use as an over 23. He's going to be the star of that tournament if we qualify.
Hopefully, he needs to continue growing.
This point forward, against specifically lower teams than us, or who we say lower teams, we haven't won that game until we have more goals on the scoreboard and the referee blows for the final whistle. We can be arrogant all we want, but we need to respect our opponents. And we've learned this now the hard way. And it's time for a change in U.S. soccer. It's time for us to start playing the right way, the respectful way, and play with your heart. Because they didn't do that against Trinidad. Just look at the second goal again.
Yeah.
Look at that second goal again, and that explains the whole Hex qualification.
We need the heart, but it's got to be more than just passion anymore. We need to develop the next Pulisic. We need to get the next...
Pulisic's. You need 3, 4, 5 of these guys.
We need a center back, another midfielder.
They're there. It's Vickers, it's Miazga,
Will
it's
it be?
Brooks. Yes,
Will be?
yes. They're playing in Europe. You have these U17 guys again for 2026. My vision that I've written out for 2022, we qualify for the World Cup. Sorry, that's how low it's gotten to. For 2026, we need to make a team by then that can get to the semifinals. And you can laugh all you want, but that is the same plan that Germany did when they got out in the 2000 Euros.
Right, yeah, that's exactly what...
And we're hosting that 2026 World Cup. By the way, if FIFA doesn't give us that World Cup, all hell with international soccer.
Because it's a mixture. It's USA, Canada, Mexico,
Because
right?
to be honest, U.S. wasn't in for 2018, so I can't say that, even though Russia shouldn't be hosting it. We should be hosting it in 2022. Let's face it. And that would speed up that process, what I'm saying. But by 2026, we need a team that can get us to the semifinals. And then from there, see how they do. Because, again, we missed this earlier. For Bruce Arena to be talking about the European giants playing in CONCACAF.
That was embarrassing.
And we haven't qualified.
That was embarrassing. Like, he made us look
He
so
should have been
freaking
fired
stupid.
then. Again, Arena was the wrong choice. Again, we're mumbling. I apologize. It's just the darkest day in U.S. soccer, and it can only get up from here, and changes need to happen. And we got to move on.
Yeah.
Because we can just mumble and just repeat what we're saying.
All right, so let's stick with soccer, but move to at least where you can be happy, where your team's still top of the table, at least on goal differential. The big game. One of the biggest rivalries.
There's nothing to be happy about until a good result comes my way, because until that happens, I'm just so pissed with U.S. soccer.
Not necessarily happy, but let's start with the EPL weekend that we have up ahead.
And again, to anyone who hates on the USA and your country didn't make the World Cup, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of it. Just totally sick of it.
Okay. This weekend, all teams are playing. We got games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Let's quickly go through this because I want to get out of soccer. I'm
Yes.
just, again, pissed off.
We will start off the day with Liverpool home to Manchester United. I think Man United's got a lot to look forward to in this game. They had a few players rested. They've got some injuries from the Fellaini's out a few weeks, I think. And
Jones should be back. Fellaini is definitely going to be a miss because of his height. The key injury is Mane. Mane's out, so that loses their threat.
The thing that
Firmino, Coutinho are coming back from Brazil. That's
Firmino didn't play.
Doesn't matter. It's still a long flight.
The thing for me, though, was Antonio Valencia got a yellow card in the first game, so he was suspended for the second game, so he's already probably rested and back in England ready.
United wins 2-1.
Yeah,
I love games in Anfield, and Lukaku's form is amazing.
That's what I was going to say. Lukaku.
Rashford's good. Mickey's good. Mickey scored on the international break.
Yep.
It'll be a tough game. It'll be tougher than we think. Man U wins 2-1.
Yeah, it's most likely this game has goal fest written all over it, even though it is a Mourinho side. But we know how Liverpool's defense is, and we'll see how that game goes.
We'll speed it up. We'll go speed round because, like I said, I just want to get off of soccer. Crystal Palace, Chelsea. It'll probably be 4-0 Chelsea.
That's the next thing. Will Crystal Palace score? I doubt it.
City, Stoke. I think City wins by more than 3.
City looks to be just a little bit ahead of Man U right now, but we'll see. But
it doesn't matter until they play head to head.
Yeah.
Let them play head to head. Tottenham beats Bournemouth like 1-2-0. I can't trust them at home.
Can't trust them at home, but
they should get it done. Harry Kane's on fire.
If they do get a goal early on, look out for the 4s and 5s even, or even
Bournemouth's
higher.
a bit poor.
Yeah.
Last game we'll cover Arsenal, Watford. Arsenal should start the next round of games.
It's going to be tricky. I'm
on the
worried.
right foot. It's a tricky game, but Arsenal should win because
I don't know.
you're going to have a pissed off Sanchez and a pissed off Ozil.
No Koscielny, no Mustafi, no Ozil. Sanchez is coming back. I don't know if he's going to play. Ramsey shouldn't play. He just got knocked out of the World Cup. I don't like the way the team's set up right now for this game.
I might have to take that back with all of that. You'll see my picks on the Facebook page with that game.
Yeah,
but,
so
that might be too close.
I still think they should be able to get over the line with that game, especially with how good their attackers are with Lacazette, Giroud, and Iwobi also sending Nigeria to World Cup. But yeah, we'll see how that game goes.
That's it for soccer.
Yeah, that's it for
You'll see our
soccer.
Picks. You'll see our picks on the website. Not even worth getting into MLS Galaxy. I mean, look at my U.S. soccer teams. Galaxy are dead last in the Western Conference, and U.S. is not going to the World Cup.
Yeah,
it's just brutal.
LAFC.
There's no trading teams. There's no trading teams.
I know.
That's another thing. We didn't even mention it. There are too many damn teams in MLS.
Makes no sense. I was talking with this another friend the other day.
There are too many damn teams in MLS.
It's turning into a business.
A friend of mine was saying like MLS needs to be the feeder team for the national team. That's half true, half not true. But you know what MLS should be not doing is adding more teams. Yeah. We have the most teams out of any league in the world.
It makes no sense
for a country that doesn't have the player pool to do this. And at the same time, this is we also forgot about. We're bringing in all these players from the lower countries in CONCACAF and making them up to our level by playing in MLS. Their goal was to play for their national leagues. Nope. Their goal is to make it to the MLS. And most of our guys are playing in MLS, which was from that roster. They're on the same level as our guys.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. So MLS. Whoa, technical difficulties there. I think someone tried to hack into the studio. Russia, get out of here. No more teams in MLS. I think it's time to retract some teams. I'm serious about that.
It makes no sense how the best teams in the world have 20 teams in the league, maybe even 16, and we have 24 now?
We're getting to 24. I think LA is 23.
24.
They're talking about more expansion teams.
I know, and there's no relegation. There's no...
Okay,
whatever. Fine.
We're done with soccer.
Let's move on from soccer.
Quick baseball.
Doyers?
I wrote this on Facebook. Now it begins. The Dodgers season officially starts.
Yeah.
And this is where they're judged. And it's the Cubs versus the Dodgers, and they've played a lot of times these past few playoffs. The Dodgers need to advance. The Dodgers need to get to the World Series, and like I said before, win the World Series.
The Dodgers need to win Game 1.
Otherwise, this season is a failure.
Yeah, for sure.
It is the World Series. If they make the World Series and lose, it's less of a failure.
Understand. Yeah, for sure.
I have to be a little bit nicer about it because it's still a success getting to the World Series. But they need to get the World Series.
100%.
They need to get the Demons away and beat the Cubs.
After the season they had 104 wins, almost record-breaking season. They need to win. There's no doubt about it. Like the Cubs won last year, they need to do it this time. The Dodgers.
And like we said earlier in August in one of our recordings, it'll be the Astros probably coming out of the AL. And
most likely the Yankees.
Top teams.
The Yankees do look hot, but you can't depend on your sluggers always in the playoffs.
Yeah. So we'll see. Baseball championship series have begun or about to begin. Sorry.
Yeah, they begin tonight.
Yeah. Yankees begin tonight, and that was baseball.
Yay for baseball!
But we're rooting for the Dodgers, or at least I am. I got my LA Dodgers shirt on.
Yeah, I'll be a Dodgers fan. They can be my NL team, even though obviously I'm an Angels fan. Hockey time. Anything else before hockey?
I'll give one
NFL stuff.
I'll give one NFL pick. Look for the Jets to cover the spread on Sunday with plus 9.5 points.
Who do they play?
They're playing the Patriots at home.
Whew, yeah, those usually tight games.
The Jets usually played tight. Now, this could be a breakout game for the Patriots where they spank them, but I don't think they've shown that this year.
Yeah, they haven't shown that yet.
9.5 points at home is a lot.
I think I was.
And the Jets season is still to be played for. We thought they'd be 0-5 at this point. No, they can go for that division if they want. And you're getting 9.5 points, you take them.
I think as of now, I have them picked. Even before you mentioned this, I think on my own I already picked them.
According to the spreadsheet, you have New England. But
oh, really? All right, so that might change that thought right there. But since Seth isn't here, me and his team play against each other, and it's the battle of who will be the best team out of the three of ours. Because somehow the Cowboys aren't up to their standards. I'm sorry to bring that up,
The
but
Cowboys haven't even come close to their form from last year. And now Ezekiel Elliott is about to be suspended for 6 games.
again,
They just
Officially now?
reinstated it yesterday,
Jesus,
and it looks like it's going to happen, and that could be the death blow in the season.
could be.
And all that talk about me saying they need to go to the Super Bowl is done,
Yeah, now it's different.
and just
Who do they have this week?
they're on a bye.
On a bye. Okay,
That's
so
why they went after the case, because they have time. And my
Makes
sports teams are starting to fall down, which is concerning.
you got Man U still, and the Kings. Let's transfer to the Kings now, maybe. Who
the
pretty
Kings,
decent start.
The Kings gave Calgary 2 points on Wednesday,
Yeah, that happens.
and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
5 points in 3 games is still fine, though.
No, that is fine, but you're giving 2 points
obviously, yeah, you
to
don't-
Calgary.
you don't wanna give 2
you're
points to your
competing
rivals,
for
yeah.
that 3rd spot as of now, based on the projections. Coach Stevens, I'll be that way and more polite. You do not put Shore and Lewis as your second pair of forwards in the overtime.
Wow, really? That happened?
I'm sorry. When you're facing off against Monahan, Goudreau, and Brody, they don't come on the ice.
That's a mismatch for sure.
And it was a mismatch because they lost the puck when they were trying to go back up
Did
to the
he
blue
have
line.
like first change or second change, or
We're home team.
so?
We
Was
had
it,
first
wow,
change.
jeez.
No, that was what part of his plan, and
Okay.
it completely backfired because I believe Shore lost the puck along the boards. And
Is this his first head coach job, or
No. He coached Philadelphia before.
Okay,
He
so-
coached the Kings for like 3 games. No, it's a decent call against the wrong guys in the wrong situation because
Right.
he's looking for a center, and that's what we had with Shore. But you just don't do that, especially against Calgary. You can't afford to give them a point there and us lose a point. And I'll tell you the play again if you didn't see it. Shore loses the puck along the boards. Muzzin at that same moment made his run using soccer, skated into the zone to go drive to the net. So he's caught.
yeah?
So then it goes 3-on-2 the other way. Muzzin's not even close to catching him, and Calgary moves the puck very well, down low to the middle, tap in goal. Calgary wins, and it's unacceptable. And I know it's game number 3 in an 82-game season, and I shouldn't be that upset about it. But you don't give points to your rivals, especially when you're competing for that 3rd playoff spot in the Pacific.
All right, I'm going to throw out a question to you. I know none of this is really planned right now for what we're going to talk about, so I'm just going to throw something at you because I know.
Well, we'll try
pretty
and
much-
cover all hockey right now.
Yeah,
so,
so
What's the question?
biggest surprise for 3-0 team, Vegas or New Jersey?
New Jersey.
Yeah?
It's unfortunate what happened in Vegas. I mean, unfortunate, not even.
Yeah, it's not- yeah.
It's more than unfortunate. It's a tragedy. But, and this is also weird to say, sometimes tragedies make you play better.
Yeah. They only had 1 home game, though, but it does bring the players, though.
They played Arizona twice and Dallas without Bishop. So those 3 wins are definitely feasible, and obviously they did it. And the home opener was definitely going to be a win.
Yeah.
But that's 2 against Arizona and 1 against Dallas.
4 goals for James Neal?
Yeah, James Neal's on fire. The Devils should not be undefeated, and they beat the Maple Leafs 6-3.
Yeah, that was a pretty big shock.
It's not going to last, obviously.
16 goals in 3 games?
It's not going to last. It hasn't even been Heischer, to be honest. They've had other players step up, but Washington's going to spank them tonight. Look for that in one of my NHL picks.
Ooh, that's probably a good call.
Next question.
That was the only thing I had planned, really, but
That's good.
no, as far as that question, but most likely, who's like obviously Ovechkin. Well, there's 5 players right now with 8 points. Out of right now, who
Ovechkin can get a hat trick tonight.
Ovechkin might get a hat trick. Which superstar has failed to start off this year on the right path?
Ooh, individually or team wise?
I'm thinking individually, but you can do team wise as well. Because I'm looking at this list right now, and
It's early.
It's still early.
You can't answer that question
'Cause, yeah,
it's
I've
3
seen-
games. Some teams
some
have
people-
4.
some teams have played
Carolina's played
2
2
games.
It's too early for that question. You need 1 more game or 2 more games to really evaluate that.
well, the one thing I was just thinking.
I mean, you can just Coyotes are awful.
that's a good statement.
No wins yet for the Coyotes.
No wins for the Coyotes and the Sabres.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise too with Buffalo. Buffalo hasn't looked good in their first few games.
No. But to my surprise, I have to talk a little bit about my own team. I'm 5 points in 8 games for the Ducks. It's
It's a success.
It's a success.
Like I've been saying to people, the Ducks need to be a little bit over 500 before all the injuries come back, and that's what they're doing.
We got Eves back. He scored a...
If you stay on a 5 points out of 8 pace, you'll be fine. There's nothing to be...
I'm definitely not worried. I saw...
That's way too early.
I saw a bunch of their games. Gibson looks solid. He made some huge saves against Arizona, even though we lost. I'm happy with the way the Ducks are going. Since Seth isn't here, we'll talk about his Avalanche maybe a little bit, which...
The Avalanche swept Boston.
That's...
home and away, which was kind of a big statement.
Shock.
They're 3-1. They play the Ducks tonight. And
quack,
the Ducks should be winning this game tonight as well, which will kind of bring things back to reality. The Blues got their first loss yesterday after we thought they'd have a poor start to the season. They're 4-1.
That's true, too.
Jake Allen's played well, which is nice to see. Kind of didn't see that coming as well with their losses on D. So that's big. Wild got their first win as well, but again, it's all early.
I like that Detroit start off the season strong.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to see these teams from last year who are at the bottom of the league start off strong because, I mean, at some point they're going to fade, but if we make these races tighter near the end of the season, then we're in for one of the best seasons in NHL history. Like we said in our NHL preview, these teams...
It's tight.
What the NHL has accomplished is any team can beat any other team on any other night in the
right
regular
now,
season.
you have the Rangers in last place at the Metropolitan Division, the Devils in first. Like,
it's beautiful.
It's awesome.
It's hockey. It's parity. It's the best league in the world. And
again with that,
it is. It like again. I'll repeat it. I'll probably repeat this all years. It's either you don't understand hockey, or you just don't want to understand hockey, because it's the greatest game in the world, and if you just don't get that, then you'll never learn. And it just, I'm sorry, there's no other way of saying it. It's the hardest sport to play. The best live in sport to watch, and it's not predictable. Like, to bring up the NBA, Michael Jordan said there's 28 garbage teams.
He said that?
He said that yesterday.
Gee, oh my God.
And for whatever reason,
that's a strong statement. Even saying 28?
Yeah. And for whatever reason...
You can't even get to like 25?
For whatever reason, maybe it's the personality of the players in the NBA that people just love, and that's why it's gone so popular. Might even be passing the NFL soon once the NFL stops playing.
I don't know why it's...
But...
I don't know.
How is that exciting for anyone when the best player in the NBA history says 28 teams this season are garbage? I guess you must love basketball that much to just ignore that fact. To me, again, it's not to critique the game, but just the idea of the shot clock, and one shot is 1 point more than another point.
That's the whole what the game is.
Nah, it's stupid. It's really stupid but you take a shot an inch farther away, it's 3 points.
All right, but that's how the game's always been played. So.
No, I get that, but it's just starting to realize. I don't know. The past few years with basketball, I've just started to lose interest in it because there's no. I've seen everything with the sport. There's nothing new that I've seen with it.
If the Lakers start doing well, you're not going to start liking it again, though, right?
No, I'll follow the Lakers.
Okay.
Because the Lakers, I mean, they're my LA team. And maybe it's because the Lakers have been bad and UCLA basketball has been not fulfilling what they need to do. But I just can't watch a basketball. I definitely can't watch a basketball game for fun.
Well, that's the thing. I'm with you there. Like I'm not as strong as you as far as the game, but as itself. But like for work, I have to watch games, and like it's frustrating. Like
but you're not even watching NBA.
That's the thing. I'm not even watching NBA. I'm watching a shittier version of basketball.
Forget that.
But like that's the thing. Like I'm supposed to keep track of like each point of like which point is better than the other point, and they're all exactly the same. Like this guy made a shot. Now that guy made a shot. Why was that shot better? I don't know.
That's more of what I've been saying. And maybe there's something I missed, and someone who likes basketball can explain it to me more. But there's nothing great that I see from basketball and the NBA.
Like if they just want to play the Cavaliers versus the Warriors like 25 times, then
I'll watch it.
I might watch it.
I might be interested, but just I don't know. We're getting off track, and not need to talk down on NBA. Maybe Seth next week can have a rebuttal to all that. I think it's unfair that he's on here and we're doing that to the NBA, but
oh yeah, Seth's gonna listen to this and strike back hard probably.
Yeah.
He's like, what about the Celtics and the other team?
And the
I can't think of
Thunder.
another team. Oh yeah, Thunder. There we go.
Thunder are back. But no, NHL is great. Kings have a doubleheader this weekend with Buffalo and the Islanders. They need to just keep on getting the points. Quick looks amazing. The first line, Kopitar 3 goals, Brown 3 goals. That's huge. My question marks are the power play. It's been non-existent. It's been good shots, but not challenging shots, which is a problem. I think they need to make some changes there on the units. Second line's gone missing. Third line's been not even there. Ice time for those players have been less. The fourth line now got ruined with Clifford's injury. Clifford's out week to week, so that loses chemistry. But the Kings should get 4 points out of 4 this weekend.
All right, I got a tiny little curveball to throw at you.
What?
We're like at 45 minutes right now. So like if we want to go, we can go another 15 minutes. And I feel like with the sports we've covered already, I think we're almost about there. So I want to know if you want to talk about Hell in a Cell from last week, because that's something we haven't reached so far in our show at all. And I know that maybe this is something we can
do
discuss a little bit.
3-4 minutes on Hell in a Cell. You can come up with your crazy idea, which is really funny in your head if you don't really say it.
It was the greatest idea ever in my mind.
First of all, Shane McMahon, you need to stop.
Stop putting your body on the line.
Stop doing that.
You're a grown man. You have probably millions of dollars and millions more.
Unless you're going to hit the move, which by now I think you need to, unless that's what you're setting up for in the future, which is, I don't know why you keep on flying 20 feet onto the announce table. But stop it. Stop it. And Sami Zayn with the heel turn is amazing. That's simply amazing. But I don't know. There's really not much more to talk about with WWE. It's getting into the good parts. We're getting ready for Royal Rumble, and the Shield is back, which I've never really.
What was the first match though? It was really good.
It was the Usos and the New Day.
New Day. Oh yeah, I was showing it to Ben, and we were just like, "What is the?" He didn't know what the New Day was, and he's like, "Do they have trumpets?" And then he takes another trumpet from the bottom of the.
The New Day. They're just fun. They're just fun. The Usos.
And then they got kendo sticks, and
I'm starting to like the Usos more, but that was a solid match. And again, we're probably going to get a hate from the 1 or 2 listeners that listen that, oh, wrestling's fake. But no.
Obviously, it's fake.
It's more entertainment, and we know the winners are already...
jokes. It's a funny show.
But you have to go with it. Obviously, you don't have to go with it, and you don't have to not watch it. That's fine, but you don't need to tell us not to watch it. But it was a solid show. TLC's coming up. But again, January's coming soon. Royal Rumble's the greatest pay-per-view, and that match...
Ooh. I want to throw this out there since we haven't really talked about this much in our show. UFC 216 was last week, and Mighty Mouse pulled off one of the sickest submission finishes I've ever seen. Have you seen it or no?
He also pulled off the sickest taunt after as well.
You saw the finish though, right?
Clearly, if I saw the taunt after.
He threw up the guy and caught him on his way down, like in an armbar position already.
Well,
which
that was cool. And
amazing.
And another MMA fight, someone did the Walls of Jericho on someone to make them tap.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
I think we've reached the end of this episode if we're talking WWE and UFC. Again, with UFC, it's another sport that is tainted in my eyes, and it doesn't even need to be talked about.
I'll argue it.
You can argue as much as you want, but there's no one credible in that sport except for Mighty Mouse. But someone fix U.S. soccer. Someone take Sunil Gulati's job, and someone come and replace Arena, because it's another embarrassment that we aren't in Russia. And I will still cling to hope that Panama game will be overturned, because
we don't want it as much.
We want it.
No, we don't. It's not. We're not going to learn from this. We need to learn from it.
We have learned from it.
I don't think so.
We have learned from it. Bruce even announced it, that this wouldn't be the team going to Russia. He just had no balls to switch it up and take the younger guys for the squad. And he took with the guys that he could rely on. He said it in the press conference after. But it's like, hello, change the roster with guys you think that could help this team.
What's done is done, I think, and we need to just move forward.
Soccer needs to get its act together. None of these controversies need to continue.
Well, yeah.
It's just goals should be reviewed. It's the 21st century.
Yeah, definitely on a World Cup level. All these games should be done with the most like technology and efficiency as possible. If they're doing it in Champions League and they're doing it in Bundesliga and in Italian Serie A, they have replays there for goals and offsides. Like, why not in a World Cup thing? Especially when it's a goal. It's not like judging offsides or judging if it's a foul or not. Like, anyone who hasn't seen the goal or Panama's phantom goal, as they're calling it, like
it's not a goal.
It wasn't even close. The ball almost didn't even get to the line. It was blocked before the line.
Whatever. Last point.
Yeah.
We don't have dirty tactics like the Panamanians because they're ball boy.
Oh, that was funny too.
That's a disgrace.
It was funny.
I'm sick of this cheating and unethical acts of people in soccer. I'm at the point where I might be with soccer like I was with basketball because I'm sick of it. That is a disgrace. It's not funny. I don't care if an American person did that. There needs to be respect in the game. And you do not kick away a ball that the other team is about to get. That's part of the tactics that we as Americans never do. And it doesn't go unpunished. It doesn't go punished for these other teams that get away with it. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the deception and the cheating and the bad behavior in soccer. And the good countries always get burned because of it. And I think that's it. We thank you for listening to this autopsy of the U.S. men's national program. Thank you for listening to Premier League picks, which weren't that enthusiastic, and maybe more enthusiasm talking about the NHL and a little bit bashing of the NBA.
I want to do a no more ra-ta-ta-ta-ta for Seth.
Yeah, we have to get one of those in because we have to move on. We can't let the U.S. team.
I'm ready to move on. It definitely it hurt. It stung. I'm still not over it yet, but I'm ready for this weekend to come back. Soccer is back again. Hockey is back. All our teams in the NHL are doing relatively well, except for the Canadians. We didn't mention that, but
it's early. They just need to score.
They do.
Just score. It's not that difficult. Duran, Pacioretty, score. Weber, blast from the point, score. Beat the Leafs. You want to pick on Saturday? Montreal beats Toronto.
Ooh, that's a fun game.
That'll be exciting for this weekend. But yeah, again, we have hockey, so everything will be good. That is our show. It was a interesting one, to say the least.
On a spooky Friday the 13th.
Tell your friends about us. We want more viewer input. We want questions. We want us. Maybe you disagree with our U.S. soccer takes. Let us know. You'll see our picks for all the leagues on the weekend. I'll let you know that I'm at a very poor 38% in my NHL picks this season.
It's been, well, we set up New Jersey in first place, Vegas in first place. I'm sure those
Michael and Seth are tied at a 55%, which is just where you want to be. And if people who don't get that, you can't predict all the games correctly, and no one's going to be in the high 70s or 80s, especially if you predict them all. So to be at 56 is pretty good. But anyways, thank you for listening. We overdone it this time. Someone save U.S. soccer.